wants to not be able to use a gas stove?
You may have heard that California politicians are trying to ban natural gas appliances, all of them, not just gas stoves, but all appliances in your home. Well, guess what? Our fight against this crazy and costly mandate has now gone national. We'll tell you what just happened and why it's going to help us block the ban. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California, and we've got some really big news in our campaign to stop California state and local politicians from banning your natural gas appliances. And I'm not just talking about natural gas stoves. California's liberal, weird, crazy politicians, they want to ban natural gas stoves, natural gas furnaces, natural gas water heaters, natural gas fireplaces. All of that would be banned, and you'd have to use electric everything. Less convenient, more expensive, and of course, you and I both know that the energy grid isn't going to be able to handle it. Anyway, well, we've got some big news in our fight to stop that ban. And that comes in the form of last night's presidential debate. Donald Trump literally brought this issue up himself. Now, I know that we've been making a big deal about this in California, and it also had a little bit of a blip nationwide with Joe Biden considering earlier this year a ban on natural gas stoves and quietly starting to get regulations in place at the federal level to ban natural gas everything, all the other appliances. Well, last night, Donald Trump brought it up in his interview with Tucker Carlson. I want to play that real quick for you. Check it out.
Who wants to not be able to use a gas stove or have to drive an electric car, which, you know, you have a 4-hour drive, but the car only goes an hour and a half, so you have to charge it. The happiest moment for somebody in an electric car is the first 10 minutes. In other words, you get it charged, and now for 10 minutes. The unhappiest part is the next hour, because you're petrified that you're not going to be found to another charger. People, I'm saying, if people, I'm not knocking electric cars, they're fine. They're fine. But if people want to buy a gasoline car or a hybrids are pretty good, actually, but they should be allowed to buy. They don't want to do any of this. So right now, California's in a big brownout because their grid is a disaster. The grid all over the country is sort of a disaster, but the grid in California. And yet they want to have in a very short period of time millions and millions of cars going off that grid, essentially. It doesn't work.
So plug your car into a grid that's failing.
You should be able to buy an electric car. You know, electric cars could be fine if you drive short distances and you want to have, you know, whatever, and you have plug-ins everywhere you go. They could be fine. But you got to have gasoline cars. You got to have everything. Let people buy everything. Now there's the new thing is your heating systems in the house. They don't want you to have a modern day heating system. They want you to use a heating system that will cost you at least $10,000 to buy and won't work very well. You know, none of the stuff works as well. One of the things I did with EPA is you have states, many states, most of the states have so much water, you know, it comes out of heaven, right? The water
he goes on to
pours
talk
down
about water. He obviously talked about the gas car ban that they've implemented in California, where the target is 0 gas cars by 2045. But really, we are going to start hitting major mandates in the next 2 to 3 years. We have to hit a big reduction by 2030. He touches on the fact that by moving all these appliances, the gas heaters, he goes on later on to talk about gas stoves, to all electric, that California is already on the brink of brownouts. They don't have the electrical capacity to be able to support electric everything. But what I love about this is that he gets the fact that these are the new Green New Deal mandates that they're trying to quietly implement at the state and local level, and that a Biden administration is actually leading this effort quietly at the national level. So let me give you an update real quick on why this is so important in our fight out here to stop the natural gas appliance ban and, of course, the retrofits. First and foremost, the state of California already has in place legislation to ban all natural gas appliances, as well as, that's not just for new construction, to require that you do retrofits, very costly retrofits in your home. They are doing it through the California Air Resources Board. And CARB has immense powers. That way the politicians don't have to actually vote for the ban. They just get to say, well, a regulatory agency banned that appliance and now you have to comply. And they also said you're not allowed to use natural gas and now you must comply. If you take a look at the filings for the California utility companies, all of them know that there's going to be a natural gas appliance ban. They've already said that natural gas consumption in California will be eliminated over the next 5 to 7 years, 10 years tops, because of these new mandates, and that they're starting to raise rates on gas customers so that they can finance the transition into electricity. The liberal media in California doesn't want to talk about the fact that this change is already being implemented here in California. But the California Restaurant Association filed a lawsuit and they said, look, you're not allowed to ban natural gas appliances because the federal government is the only entity under federal law to set efficiency standards for appliances. And a Ninth Circuit Court judge agreed with the Restaurant Association back in April of this year, and he issued an injunction basically blocking the ban. Now, California politicians are appealing that, but what they're now doing is they're going to Joe Biden and they're saying, well, if it's true that the federal government has to issue regulations and that they're the only ones that can do energy efficiency regulations and bans and restrictions at the federal level, well, President Joe Biden issues some regulations. So guess what's happened in the last 4 months? April, May, June, July, August. All of the agencies, Energy Department, EPA, they've been starting to issue regulations on air conditioners, on gas stoves, on gas water heaters, across the board, regular furnaces. They're trying to put in place regulations that now the state of California can point to, and going back before that judge saying, see, the feds agree with us, we can do a natural gas ban. So look, the fact that Trump is now talking about this is great news. I don't care whether you support or don't support President Trump for re-election or for 2024. What matters is if he starts talking about this mandate, it's going to force other Republicans to start talking about this mandate. It's also going to insert this crazy mandate into the conversation. Now, there's one thing that Trump got wrong on this one, and he said $10,000 for a retrofit. That would be for maybe the furnace. I think he was referring to either the furnace or the water heater. The real cost is $30,000. If you had to get rid of your electric stove, electric water heater, and electric furnace, and go to gas versions of those and go to all electric the other way around, it would cost you 30 grand. The National Association of Home Builders has a study out showing 30 grand is the cost, but the study was done in 2021. And you know what inflation's done in the past several years, particularly with retrofits and home renovations and appliances. You know damn well that the cost would be much higher, probably in the neighborhood of $40,000. You might say, well, why would it cost so much? When you have that massive of a shift, the appliances are going to be in short supply, going all electric. B, where are you going to find an electrician to come out and put in all the new electrical outlets? Because these appliances don't just get plugged into a normal socket in the wall. They require a heavy duty socket. Also, many homes are not ready at the utility box to be able to sustain all electric appliances in that home. And so that's going to require new circuit breakers, more expense there. So 30 grand is easily the floor, probably much more than that, to do a retrofit of every house, every building in the area. And that's what the Democrats in California are pushing. This is going to be a crushing blow to homeowners. And so the fact that Trump brought it up in this presidential debate is bringing national exposure to this. This is wonderful news, great news. And it's only going to help us in our fight out here in California. So what do we need to do? We can't put our eggs in the basket of just a Republican winning the White House and stopping the federal regulations. We have to make sure that we continue to push back on the politicians as they appeal this to a higher court. But we also have to stop the politicians with the mandates that they have already. And so that's why I urge you to go online to the website, stopthegasban.org. Stopthegasban.org. It will take you to this page. We have a page with all sorts of great information up on the natural gas ban happening at the local level and the state level, including a link to the article. I also break down the natural gas ban in more detail in a video. You can sign a petition opposing a natural gas ban in your area because a lot of these bans are happening locally. You can also make a contribution. Remember, we are entirely grassroots funded at Reform California. Our average contribution is $67 per person per year. But most people chip in $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever they can to help the effort out. So go to that website, stopthegasban.org. I'll tell you this right now. People sit back on these mandates and they think, oh, it's not going to happen. Nobody would be that crazy to ban natural gas appliances. Well, welcome to California. They are literally that bat blank crazy in our state, the politicians, state and local. And they're coming for all of your gas appliances, not just your stove. And it's going to happen very soon, not just in new construction, but retrofits. So go to stopthegasban.org. Also, share this video, like and subscribe to the video channel as well as this social media channel so that we can spike the algorithm, get this news out. The liberal media in California does not want to cover the natural gas ban, appliance ban. So we're going to need your help in spreading the word by liking and sharing and subscribing to this video. Until next time, this is Carl DeMaio with Reform California. Thanks for watching. Help us break through the censorship of the liberal media by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.